Welcome back to Journey to Self. Today's episode is one that weighs heavily on my heart, and I imagine it does for many of you as well. We're living in a time of tremendous uncertainty where fears and frustrations are running high. So, if you're feeling afraid, angry, or overwhelmed right now, know that you're not alone. It's okay to feel exactly what you're feeling. For today's intuitive moment, I fittingly pulled the strength card. My key word for this card is calm influence. And for those of you that are listening and not watching, this strength card is an individual who is pictured as half woman, half lion, and wearing a necklace with a heart and has a lamb sitting on her lap. And so this strength card reminds us of the power that comes from within, especially during challenging times. It's about leaning into our courage, even when things feel out of control. The affirmation for this card is I deliberately bring my compassion and strength forward, and I use them for good. So let's keep this message of calm strength in mind as we explore today's topic. Before we dive into the main topic for today, I want to take a moment to address something that's come up recently. And for me, and I'm sure for many of you, and that's a disagreement. In times like these, emotions run high and people are deeply passionate about their beliefs and values, which is a good thing. Recently, someone told me they were disappointed that I took a political stance publicly and then they blocked me. I happen to know this individual and I had their email, so I reached out. In their view, as an influencer, I shouldn't have taken sides and expressed them since my followers might hold different beliefs, both sides of the fence, so to speak. We did have a very cordial exchange, and I thanked her for her honesty and appreciated her perspective. Here's the thing, my work as a coach is all about encouraging others to use their voice with confidence, to stand up for their beliefs, and to live authentically. If I don't walk that same path, then I'm not being true to the very values I encourage in others. Being authentic means standing by what we believe, even if it risks disagreement or discomfort. This doesn't mean I don't respect differing opinions. I do. In fact, I welcome them. Disagreement can be an opportunity for growth and understanding. Authenticity, however, means showing up fully as who we are. And sometimes that means taking a stand. It's okay if not everyone agrees with us. Our responsibility is to be true to ourselves. It's also okay to unfriend, unfollow, and or distance yourself from others. For many, me included, a lot of this election was about morals, and I've seen a lot of comments and posts and things about this isn't about agreeing to disagree. And I don't disagree with that. So if you're listening and you find yourself holding back from expressing what you believe, ask yourself, am I staying quiet to avoid discomfort or because it's truly aligned with who I am? This can be a powerful step forward, reclaiming your voice. So let's get into our soul dive where we'll talk about managing the heavy emotions that can come up during uncertain times. Let's be honest, there's a lot to be upset about right now. When basic rights, medical access, and people's very identities are under threat, it's natural to feel fear and anger. Many of us are worried about the future, the safety of our loved ones, and the principles we thought would protect us. So, here are some tips that I have for you for managing fear and overwhelm. The first one is to stay present. Focus on the present moment to quiet your mind. Take a few deep breaths Feel your feet on the ground and remind yourself that right now you're safe. Number two, limit media exposure. Consider limiting your time on social media or news sites to avoid constant stress. Instead, focus on activities that bring you peace. Number three, connect with supportive people. Reach out to friends, family, or a community that makes you feel supported. We're not meant to do this alone. Practice self compassion. Allow yourself to feel whatever emotions come up and be kind to yourself. It's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel how you feel. And the last tip is to take small positive actions. Channel your energy into small actions that align with your values. These small steps can be truly empowering. Taking care of your mental and emotional well being is essential. Let's continue the soul dive by talking about using our voices and actions to make a difference. Even though we may feel small in the face of such big issues, every one of us has a voice. We can choose to speak up, to educate, to support one another, and to keep pushing forward. We may not have control over every policy, but we do have control over how we show up in our communities. I encourage action over helplessness. Advocate for justice through voting, supporting organizations, or having tough conversations. I have seen some very eloquently stated posts on social media expressing their view and, quite honestly, telling people, unfriend me now. And that's okay too. Totally okay. Even small acts like showing support for those affected or spreading awareness can create ripples of change. And use your anger as fuel. Viewing your anger as energy, which is exactly what it is, it can channel you into positive action. Find ways to express that without being I don't know what the word is I want, that without being damaging, I guess, for lack of a better word. For example, I have seen posts where and people are rightfully expressing their anger. I fully support that. Whether it's posting songs that resonate with you, whether it's, you know, expressing your anger, there's a lot of different ways to do that. But use that anger as fuel, not to riot and whatever, and to argue and all those types of things, but use it as energy to fuel you to keep going. So let's take this idea of standing together a bit further by discussing the importance of community. It's during times like these that community matters most. When we come together, we find strength we didn't know we had. This is our time to show up for each other, to be a safe space, and to speak out against injustice. When we support each other, we remind ourselves that we're not fighting alone. Connecting with like minded people creates a support network. Find allies, whether it's through local groups, organizations, or even discussions with friends. Allies are out there. It can be in the form of community organizations. I'm putting some resources for you in the show notes of organizations that you can reach out to. As a trauma coach, I'm here for you as well. So if you need to talk to a coach, if you need to talk to a therapist, a friend who whatever it is, reach out and there are there I I've been watching, and I've shared them with a couple people, but I've been watching some YouTube clips. There's a couple of people that I follow, and they've been putting together montages of individuals speaking out on social media um, about what's going on. And it's honestly, it was heartwarming for me because it showed me that there still are people out there that are willing to stand up for others. So there 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 are so many resources out there, and there are communities out there, and we just need to band together and find them and find that support there. So let's take a moment now to reflect on how we can ground ourselves during challenging times. So for our inner reflection, take a moment to reflect on what matters most to you. When the world feels chaotic, reconnecting with your core values can help you stay grounded. Ask yourself, what do I want to stand for? What kind of world do I want to help create? Let these reflections guide you through moments of fear or frustration and remind you of the bigger picture. An example, maybe it's about standing up for justice, compassion, or equality. Whatever it is, hold on to that as a source of strength. For our whispers of wisdom, here's a quote from Edmund Burke that resonates deeply with today's episode. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. Let this remind us that our voices and actions matter. Standing up for what we believe in, even in small ways, can make a difference. Now, let's finish up with a small action step that you can take this week to empower yourself and those around you. So, your empowerment action is this week, I encourage you to take one small action that aligns with your values. Whether it's educating yourself on an issue, supporting a cause, or simply being there for someone who needs it, remember that small actions add up. The more of us who take those actions, the stronger we become. Thank you so much for joining me in this difficult but necessary conversation. Remember, we are stronger together and every voice counts. The journey may be tough, but we don't have to walk it alone. The more we stand up for what matters, the truer we are to ourselves. Don't forget to check out the resources provided in the show notes and reach out if you need any assistance. I am here for you. And until next time, be true to you.